For Halloween 2021, Kinetic Games launched the Nightmare update for Phasmophobia, with a brutal new difficulty level that led to many, many deaths. But we've had a month to play around with this now and got to grips with the new mechanics, so here's my top 5 tips to beating Nightmare mode. Okay, first a caveat. All these tips are to help you with surviving Nightmare and completing the ghost hunt. The more experienced you are, the less you need to follow the advice in these tips. They're not hard and fast rules by any means. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's first quickly go over the changes introduced in Nightmare. Ghosts will not reveal one type of evidence. The ghost will sometimes change its preferred room after moving. There's no setup time. The shortest hunt grace period, I believe you get 1 second. Longer hunt duration. Kills extend the current hunt's duration, so if you're playing multiplayer and someone dies, the ghost will keep hunting. Sanity pills restore much less sanity. They only restore 20. The fuse box starts off, same as professional. There's almost no hiding places, and paranormal interference has damaged some of your monitoring equipment. So that means in the van, you can't see your sanity and you can't see EMF activity on the board. Tip number 1, manage your sanity. This is absolutely key in Nightmare mode because losing sanity leads to hunts, which leads to deaths. Your sanity drains by standing in the dark, by witnessing ghost events, by being around the ghost during hunts, by asking questions on the Ouija board. The first thing you should do when entering the house is find the breaker and turn the lights on as you go. You want the corridor rooms to be lit as much as possible. Those are the ones that you'll be travelling through all the time, such as in Tanglewood, you want the hallway, the living room, the kitchen, that sort of thing. Side rooms you can light up when you're nosing around in them, but you can turn the lights off afterwards so you don't blow the breaker. You can even start by going in with a candle to keep your sanity 100% while you find the breaker in the ghost room. But don't forget, both the weather and the ghost can lead to the candle going out, so make sure you've got a lighter with you. Now obviously you can't be in the light all the time. You'll need to turn the lights off to use the spirit box, check for orbs and so on, but just don't hang around in the dark until and unless you want the ghost to start hunting. Tip number 2, defenses against the dark arts. At some point the ghost is going to hunt, and when it does you better be prepared for it. The longer you're inside the house, the greater the need there is to have a smudge stick and lighter handy. The ghosts move faster in Nightmare than lower difficulties anyway, and if it's a revenant or a raiju, the ghost will zoom at you and probably kill you if there's no smudge in your hand ready to repel it. As well as this, make sure you know where to go in the event of a hunt. Most of the normal hiding spots are blocked off in Nightmare, so there's always at least one safe spot left unblocked. So check all the lockers and closets early on. Don't forget there's also special hiding spots like behind the garage door on Willow Street, behind the chair in the bedroom in Willow Street. In fact, just play Willow Street, it's the best map anyway. Tip number 3, track the ghost. This really ties in with the defenses tip. When the ghost hunts, it's very useful to know exactly where it's going to be hunting from. The ghosts wander more frequently on Nightmare, and it's easy to get caught out of position when they decide it's killing time.
Where the fuck is that?
Ah! Shit! It was in the kitchen, by the way. So... well, we found it.
Oh my word.
So one of the things going into my video about how to beat Nightmare is always keep track of the ghost. Because otherwise that happens. And there's numerous ways to track the ghost, fortunately. The most obvious is you can just keep listening for interactions, where the ghost is throwing items, knocking on windows and opening doors and so on. You can also use motion sensors. You can put salt piles down to see where the ghost is stepping in them. You can use the thermometer to keep checking the temperature of the room. Just be aware in case the ghost is the twins, in which case the hunt can start from either twin. Tip number 4, the Ouija board. Along with turning on the breaker, finding the bone, and the Ouija board, which is guaranteed to spawn on Nightmare difficulty, should be amongst the first things you do. Now, you can of course ask the Ouija board straight away where the ghost is, but asking a successful question will cause you to lose 40 sanity instantly. And, as tip number 1 said, managing your sanity is key. It's generally best to just find the ghost room normally first and ignore the Ouija board until later on. So what is the best use of the board then? Money! The maximum reward you can get for a full set of photos is $40, multiplied by 4 times for Nightmare. It's 3 times for professional, 2 times for intermediate. You can get this by taking a photo of the board, the bone, a ghost photo, and then 7 interaction photos from asking the board questions. Yes, you can also get fingerprints and footsteps and ghost writing and all the other normal types of photos, but the board's nice and easy, and it's going to be there for you anyway, so you might as well use it. In multiplayer,
How
you
old
can
are
even
you?
have multiple people take photos at the same time and fill the book up super
Where are
fast.
you?
Even if you don't get a ghost photo, which
How old are
can
you?
be really difficult on Nightmare, you can still get $35 from the bone, the board,
Where
and
are
8
you?
interaction photos. So never leave a Nightmare map
What?
without filling the book up first for easy money.
Maybe it's
Oh, and if you take the board to the front door, if you have decent reflexes, you can dodge out the door as the hunt starts. Although I believe the devs will be fixing this at some point, so maybe don't get too used to it. Tip number 5, identifying the ghost. You're going to get 2 pieces of evidence on Nightmare, which will always leave you choosing between at least 2 ghosts, if not more. You need to understand the ghost behavior to identify the correct type. I did a video a while back on the unique behaviors of some of the ghosts, but unfortunately the video was out of date in a matter of days because the devs released a patch that changed things up. In the Christmas update, they'll be changing things again to improve the uniqueness of some ghosts that are really hard to identify, like the Yore, for example. But in the meantime, you can still do various things like, did the ghost hunt early, potentially a demon, mare, or yokai, possibly even a banshee? Is it fast, potentially a revenant or a raiju? Or if you put salt down, did it leave footprints? If not, then you've got a wraith, that sort of thing. We can go in and we can shout at it, and if it hunts, it's a yokai. And if it doesn't
Right,
hunt for a
gotcha.
bit, and it hunts a bit later and it's fast, it's a raiju. And if it's not that, it's at least 50-50 then between banshee and yore. However, in a lot of cases, it's probably fine to just guess. On the smaller maps, identifying the ghost is only worth $10 anyway, admittedly multiplied by 4 for the Nightmare difficulty. Even if you get it wrong, you'll still have made more money from playing Nightmare than you would from getting the perfect game on Professional, provided you do the other objectives. So don't worry too much about the ghost. So there you have it. Those are my top 5 tips for playing Nightmare difficulty. It's really fun new difficulty and it really makes you play the game differently. As I said, these tips are for if you're struggling, and the more experience you get, the more you can take risks. Maybe you'll be fine with asking the board where the ghost is straight away because you're confident of escaping a hunt. Or maybe you just want to get your friends killed anyway. That's fine too. If you have any tips yourself, please leave them down below in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And you can catch me streaming Phasmophobia live on Twitch every Thursday and other games at other times if you're interested in that. Check the links below in the description. Have fun in Nightmare and try not to die.